I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Clint. It's just really amazing. I was saying earlier that everyone is so invested in your children and your future. So thanks so much for being here, and please give it up for the organizers of this event because events are tough. So yes, my name is Janine Jordan. Everything he said was true. That is me with my husband, Ken Jordan. You will hopefully meet him on Thursday when, he's going to do a panel first, earlier in the day, and then he's going to perform at night. He's going to be doing a DJ performance, and there's going to be a great performance piece that some dancers choreographed that goes before that. So that should be exciting. Hopefully we'll see you there. It'll be fun. I'll be hoop dancing, and I'm happy to offer hoop dance lessons to anyone that wants to learn them in the next few days. So just let me know. Anyway, so this is us. We are both kind of greenies, if you will. We're very LA. And so Global Green, we helped them out twice in the last year. With Electronic Music Alliance, we have something called the Play It Forward initiative, and for DJs, that means that they commit to playing for charity at least once a year. Because we're, kind of environmental activists, we tend to support green charities a lot, or they know to come to us, one of those two things. So we helped out Global Green twice. And then the other picture is actually, I was a Fashion Revolution ambassador for LA. And I might talk about that a little bit more later, but that's about trashing and upcycling, and it's all good fun stuff. So a little bit more about me before I go into my presentation. Very, very green, vote green, I buy green. I think it's just important to know who I am so that you know my bias. I'm laying it out for you, so it's obviously, it's I'm not here to push my ideologies, but I just wanted to put it on the table, yes, that is me. I am so LA. I'm wearing vegan shoes. I can afford clothes, but I often do clothing swaps with my girlfriend. These were my friend's pants. I don't know what I gave her in return. I think I got this from a clothing swap as well. I found this at a thrift shop. This is made of wood, and my earrings are made from a really special grass in the Amazon. I have a friend whose sister works for Amazon Watch, and she comes back with all this beautiful jewelry that the indigenous people make down there. And so these look like they're gold, but it's actually a very special grass that grows gold. And so I just like to be head to toe, kind of like a living example of what I believe in. So. Yeah, so thinking green, that's one of the things that I constantly do, probably to the point where I'm a little neurotic about it. I'm the type of person that, does the dishes, and I am constantly questioning if I can do it better. How do I conserve more water, or what, and then it's if I watch someone else wash dishes, I want to have a heart attack. So that's me. And I am not personally planning on having children. I'm having a lot of fun traveling the world with my husband, and we still might do that, but we're kind of leaning not to. And part of that is also with the nonprofit work. I just, I feel like I'm kind of a mother for our scene, and I really cherish everybody's children, and I just don't know if I want to have my own. But as a mother, as I like to think that I kind of am still, I think that, mothers, as well as fathers, they have an inclination to just want to see that we have the best, that, we do the best in life. There's an inclination for survival. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from today. Just me mentioning that I am a raver. I try to dress professionally when I'm here, and in my normal life, I'm not always wearing tutus, but I do wear tutus sometimes, and I do go to these parties, and that's very much a part of me, and I like being as colorful as all the kids that are going these days. So the yogini-ness, I do practice yoga, and it's helped, just cultivate some mindfulness that I think the creativity of electronic music and the culture, you know, it helped kind of expand, you know, my horizons. And then, you know, being able to, you know, have a meditation practice, it just kind of helped me like hone in like what I was, you know, experiencing a little bit more. So my presentation today is called How Music and Art Will Save the World. I would just like to say that, you know, really we could kind of change this. It's not like how it will, it's already being done. You know, this is happening now. I'm experiencing this as I go to more festivals. You know, I thought that like saving, it's like, do we really need to save the world? And, you know, it's kind of an extreme thought perhaps, but yeah, you know, a little bit. You know, we do have some problems that we can work out, but, you know, that's what we're gonna address. One of the problems that I would like to focus on today is waste, mostly trash. I'm going to be talking about how art and music and the culture around it can hopefully transform the world and some of the problems that we have into, you know, how do we manage with what we have? And we have a lot of waste. There's a lot of people here. I put up there that, you know, the causes of all the trash that we have are consumerism, you know, pollution, stuff from manufacturing. I'm not going to go into that as much because we can't see it as much. And, you know, overpopulation, there's a lot of people here. And I don't really think that, you know, we don't really need to do anything. I don't think that we need to be like China and tell people like, hey, you can only have one kid or anything like that. I think we just need to like be more creative and accommodate everyone. There's going to be a lot of people here. So let's start inspiring our youth to figure it out. About 50% of the forests are gone. We've done this within like the last, you know, few hundred years, and a lot of it has gone in the last 3 decades. Forests are important because we, you know, they help with the air, but so do the oceans. So forests kind of, you know, give us about 20% of the air that we breathe, whereas oceans, they contribute to about like 50%. So it's really important that we protect our natural resources. And again, I don't really want to go into like all the things. I don't really have time for that. So again, I'm going to concentrate a little bit more on the waste portion of it. So in the ocean, have you guys heard about like the Pacific gyre? There's like a bunch of plastic like hanging out. It's like 3 times the size of Texas. Yeah. So some of it is not, it's not all plastic bags and big chunks. It's actually like little pieces of plastic, and they're so small. They're like smaller than like zooplankton, and they're outnumbering the zooplankton like 6 to 1. With the ocean currents, like they're getting trapped in certain areas. But it is a problem because it's getting into our food supply, and so, you know, it's like fish are eating these, whales are eating these, you know, birds eat them, and it kind of travels. So, and last time I knew, I think like most people are still eating fish too, right? You eating fish? I'm mostly a vegetarian. Every once in a while I eat some fish. Overall, there is hope, and I think hope is going to be coming from, you know, the arts and creativity. So yes, there is a problem, but there is opportunity here to make treasure from trash. And we just kind of need to create a league of superheroes, which I think are going to be the artists and the designers. You know, hopefully coming from, you know, this pool, all the kids that get inspired by, you know, having events like these. Buckminster Fuller is a very inspiring person that has lots of good quotes, so we're going to see a couple of those today. But he says that a designer is an emerging synthesis of an artist, an inventor, mechanic, objective economist, and evolutionary strategist. Again, focusing on the trash and just pollution in general. What he's saying is that, you know, we're not looking at pollution, right? Like in nature uses everything. So there's like this natural, like zero waste, you know, cycle. You know, everything gets decomposed, everything goes back into the system. And so that's what we're, you know, with biomimicry and, you know, lots of scientists are, you know, onto this now. It's like, how do we create a better future by designing correctly? Like, we have to use, like, the pollution. So getting over to, you know, like plastic bottles that are going into the ocean and stuff, like maybe if we harvest those, we can turn it into something that we can use. Again, fabric. maybe. We're gonna have to be able to just, think green. And a lot of people are doing that already. But thinking green, and trust me, it's like I've been trying to teach this stuff for a while, and really it's like I feel like people have to think of it, like it has to kind of come from their own, to be inspired by it. And I really, truly think that the inspiration is gonna come from art and music and, being exposed to culture, like where you can see like different applications in like a really beautiful way. So anyways, calling all designers. We need to reduce, reuse, recycle, and rethink, and basically just redesign our world. So I don't think that there was any malicious intent in the way that we designed it in the first place. I think that we're, amazing people, and I think that that's why I know that we're gonna be able to get through this and figure it out, especially with the military. You guys figure out everything, So I challenge all of you to help us redesign our world with all the waste, because I'm sure that you see it too, since you go travel the world as well. We just need to start looking at the problems that we have in the world and start making it beautiful, making it useful in a different way. So those are illuminated plastic bags. If you wanted to, you could have these out in front of this casino if you wanted. But we see a lot of this at music festivals, different art exhibits, like big art installations. So how will music and art save the world? So art, I'm just gonna define it like, I think music is art. So I'm just gonna lump that all in. So it's really, how is art gonna change the world? And this is gonna be like the digital, the tech, like all different forms of art, painters and, people that like to make sculptures, music and, dancing or performance art. There's the same benefits, from like performing art are like very similar to like meditation. So it helps you like get into a different part of your brain, and and you start to create like different neural pathways, and you can start to just look at the world a little bit differently. So here, that picture, the one with the hands, it's all crazy and maybe a little psychedelic. That's something called like visionary art. That's what the people in that genre like to call it anyway. And that's just about trying to express to people that everything is connected. People that follow that, that's kind of their thing. It's like, oh wow, that's like they start to look at the world and feel more connected, and then they're able to translate that out into the real world. Art generally makes us more creative so that we can rethink everything and redesign this world. So what if we took trash? And I've seen beaches like this. I go to Costa Rica a lot, and the beach looks like that sometimes. And then we try to clean it up. So if we took trash and we turned it into art or materials. So this is plastic bag yarn, also called plarn. A lot of people are doing this now. And we can take trash and turn it into treasure in a different fashion. We can take junk mail. Who likes junk mail? Nobody. And we could turn that into art. This is an artist named Ari Schimmel. He's amazing. Paper. You can make green fashion, couture, just like performance pieces. I think, probably the plarn would be a little bit more practical, but that's a pretty amazing dress. I would wear that. Art can also help send messages. This is the art of Chris Jordan. He tries to express with his art just like the impact of all the waste that we have, because it gets a little overwhelming. It's like there's 139,000 cigarette butts every 15 seconds in the US. That's the same picture, just zoomed out, but that kind of gives you perhaps a little perspective. If you actually go to his website, you click on the picture and it like zooms in and out. It's really cool. Chris Jordan. He's not related to us. I wish he was, though. That would be cool. So cigarette butts, they're the most common found thing in parks and beaches. And the problem with them is that they release carcinogens that contaminate the soil and the water. So, we can, our artists, I would just like to seed people that, want to do art. It's like, you can send like a really important message with, you can make something beautiful that teaches us something, instead of just painting trees, you can make it out of cigarette butts, just saying. Art helps us to understand problems that we might not be able to, understand. These are plastic bottle caps. Alone, there's 400,000 per minute. And again, that's Chris Jordan's piece where that's 400,000 bottle caps. So that's 1 minute of our use, so you zoom in. I run the Electronic Music Alliance. So obviously I'm a little bit biased when it comes to music and dancing. And I think that the electronic music culture is really transforming the world. It's been a global phenomenon for, it's been around at least like 30 years, where people were going to clubs and starting to hear the music, and then it kind of went over to Europe, and came back here, and it started going into the mainstream, and then the reins got pulled on the industry, which is another talk. The resurgence here in the US started happening, I would say in like 2006, 2007, and now we're in 2014, 2015, so it's really shaping the youth culture right now. I mean, this is like going into better half of a decade. That's their like middle school and high school years, and those are so formative of like what you consider to be cool. It's like I don't personally think that anything that I liked in elementary school is cool anymore, but there's still bands that I liked in middle school that like I still love. Like I love Pearl Jam and Nirvana. And, so anyways, like the youth culture. I don't know about Louisiana. I mean, maybe it's different here, but I doubt it. They're really, really being shaped by it. Which, by the way, I should get you Trent Cantrell. He's from Louisiana, he's from New Orleans, and so next year, I'm just saying, I'll bring Trent here. I think he'd be great. So anyways, welcome. Welcome to our world of electronic music culture. Benefits specifically of electronic music culture is that it's very, very welcoming. It's always been very diverse. People just, they feel good there. They feel like, they can be themselves, they can dress any way that they want. People are very friendly. It's different than the punk shows that I used to go to when I was in high school. Not that anyone was mean, but like the spirit's different. It's like I would go into mosh pits, and I'm definitely like a party girl that decided that I would just start doing my part to save the world. So I've been to many different concerts, and the culture there is just different. And that's why it's so addicting to the youth, is that they want to have that experience. There's community that's being built around it. And I guess when you see so many people respond in a certain way to music, they just feel a lot of camaraderie with everyone in a way that they haven't felt before. But beyond that, at these events, we're constantly inspired. There's, amazing art there. Lights, production is just insane. Because we're exposed to that constantly, I think as individuals, like, we are more creative. Called the electronic music generation. That's what I've heard some people throwing around that term. In addition, it's actually a really big industry, so I know that you were talking about jobs. I suggest bringing more festivals here. Our culture is very colorful. We're lots of fun. And we're super creative. The event throwers are expressing this through production design. And so I just want to, if there's artists here, there is a market for your art at these festivals. And then the festival goers are expressing this through, personal design. They're channeling their creativity into their outfits. That being said, it's just, how are we going to channel that creativity? How are we going to choose to express that in the world that we have now? A lot of these outfits that people are wearing, and I'm guilty of this too. I mean, I have this on, I have this going, but like a lot of the stuff for electronic music culture is like the brightly colored fake fur, and it's like none of that's eco-friendly. A lot of that's being like produced in China, and shipped over here, and so it's like I think that there is a market for turning the trash into treasure. Creativity for creativity's sake is that's old hat. I think we can channel it in different ways. So again, this is something that you might see at events, and this is called Candy. And a lot of people, it's actually like a very sweet expression, because it's not just creativity where they sit down and they like to be artists, but it's something that they end up giving to people as a gift. So it's like a gifting culture. It makes people feel included. But like plastic is petroleum. If we're going to use plastic, I think that there's enough plastic in the ocean where like maybe we should just try to, or at our landfills, figure out a way to, get that and not produce more. And, start being more like this girl. These are trash wrappers from like candy bars, and I think part of her outfit is also, like magazine cutouts and stuff. But she's just as colorful and amazing, and she's, doing it in a more eco-friendly way. You can do this. That's one of the productions, like one of the bigger productions that we have as a rave culture. So all those little tiny dots, those are people. It's probably like at least 100,000 people just at that stage, and that's just the main stage. Like there's 5 or 6 stages at this particular event. Or we can, do that. This is more of like a bamboo stage at what we, in the electronic music scene, would call like a transformational festival. So the transformational festivals are people that are being a little bit more, eco-conscious. But you can still create, beautiful things and do it more resourcefully. So some of these productions are using old building scrap from the local areas to build their stages. There's great opportunity in the waste that we have in this world to do something cool with it. So we can make things that we reuse. Oh, I'm sorry. Just wanted to show you guys that. Those are flip-flops. We can make clothing, and fashion that inspires us. These are old slides. Those are spoons. On the left are wires, and then on the right are, she has like a little bandeau made out of computer keys. Once again, paper. Pretty amazing. And we can, create large installations. I don't think that's at Burning Man, but I think that might be in Thailand. But all of those little scales are plastic bottles. So the more that we do this, it will flow into our normal lives so that we can kind of change everything. So from the festival into the world. People are starting to create garden art. They get inspired at these festivals and they want to take this, mimic it at home. Wine bottles. It's a little tire garden. Actually, like at a school in Costa Rica that I help out, they have one of these there. Reusing bottles for hydroponics, using bottles to build homes that are beautiful and artistic and inspiring. So again, these are wine bottles and beer bottles. And these homes, they can look kind of cool and modern like that one, or, I've seen them, where they're a little bit more dome-shaped and hobbit looking. And this particular, like, kind of brand or, like, design that they're going off of, they're called earth ships. But there's a lot of business opportunity from going from trash into whatever it could be in this world. So it could create jobs if we figure out, how to harvest it, and, maybe there's subsidies that could be given in different cities or in a state. Maybe, try to work with festival producers that come into town and figure out a way that, the waste developed on site can be, maybe given back, be turned into like fabric or something that the local art school designers might use. In Los Angeles, there's a place called Trash for Teaching that EMA has helped out before. It's a material warehouse where they work with local businesses and they get the scrap, and so you can go into the warehouse and they charge, something nominal like $25, and you go in there and you can make art for the day, or you can just, fill your bags, with as much of this scrap material that you want to take it home and make whatever you want there. And then I think, there's a personal market for it. It's like there's a lot of people going online and selling their creations there. And these are just some of the examples of that. You have the upcycled, recycled jewelry over there on the left, the Monster drink. They ended up turning that into like a little ornament. A lot of people are making paper jewelry, out of like junk mail and stuff like that. So there is opportunity and there's hope, and we will save the world because we already are, and because the festival culture is the sound of change.